Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots, the show where we take the day's headlines and figure out why they matter to you. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. We're both here from Snarful Solutions Group in sunny Sacramento.
Sunny is right. It's Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. And Sacramento's looking at a high of 87 degrees today. Pretty nice.
Definitely feels like summer's knocking. Quick
market check from yesterday, Monday the 5th. Dow Jones closed at 41218.83.
Okay.
And the S&P 500 finished up at 510 to 650.38.
Got it. So markets are, doing their thing.
Exactly. But let's get into the real reason you're listening. Today, we're diving into three pretty significant tech stories.
And we're going to connect them back, figure out how they might actually touch your daily life.
Because it's not just headlines, right?
Yeah.
It's about the real world impact.
Totally. So where do we start?
Let's start with food. Or rather, how you get food and maybe how you book the table in the first place.
DoorDash.
The delivery giant. What are they up to?
Well, they're making a pretty big move. They're planning to acquire SevenRooms. SevenRooms. Right. The hospitality tech company out of New York.
That's the one. And it's a hefty price tag, $1.2 billion in cash.
Wow. Okay, so DoorDash is looking beyond just like dropping off bags of food.
Seems like it. SevenRooms, they started back in 2011, I think.
Yeah, and they work with a ton of places. Over 13,000 restaurants, hotels, venues.
Okay.
Globally.
Some big names, too, like Union Square Hospitality Group, Nobu, even Marriott.
So what does SevenRooms actually do for these places? Is it just reservations?
It's more than that. Reservations, yes, but also waitlist management, table management.
The front of house stuff.
Right. But also review aggregation, pulling reviews together, and marketing tools. They really focus on creating customer profiles.
So understanding the guest, helping restaurants build repeat business, like knowing you prefer a window seat or something.
Exactly. So DoorDash buying them. Plus, they recently did that deal for Deliveroo over in the UK.
Right.
It feels like they're positioning themselves not just as the delivery company, but as a whole tech supplier for restaurants.
Yep.
Online stuff and in-store.
A comprehensive platform, maybe. They're a commerce platform, I think they call it.
Yeah. The idea is to give merchants tools for everything. Delivery sales, in-store sales, customer relationships, profitability.
Makes sense. Keep the restaurants sticky, Offer them everything they need in one place.
DoorDash's CEO, Tony Hsu, basically said that. Their mission is to grow and empower local economies, and this helps them do it faster.
And what about SevenRooms? Their CEO, Joel Montaniel, he must be pretty happy.
Seems like it. He talked about helping operators understand guests and grow sustainably, and how DoorDash's scale and network will help them do that.
So let's connect the dots for someone listening. How might this actually change things for you?
Well, imagine using the DoorDash app. Maybe not just for delivery anymore.
But for making reservations too, or getting on a wait list.
Yeah. And because it's all potentially integrated, the restaurant might know your preferences from your delivery orders when you dine in.
Oh, interesting. So they know you always get the spicy wings delivered.
And maybe they suggest a special appetizer when you're actually at the restaurant based on that history. More personalized.
Could be smoother, more tailored. But also raises questions, right, about data.
Definitely. How much do you want the restaurant and DoorDash to know? It's that convenience versus privacy thing again.
Always a trade-off. Okay, so from restaurants to the ads you see online. Story number 2 involves the DOJ and Google.
Yeah, this is a big one. The Department of Justice is pushing for Google to sell off parts of its ad business.
This comes after that court ruling, right, where Google was found liable for monopolizing certain ad tech markets.
Exactly. Specifically, publisher ad servers and ad exchanges. The DOJ's antitrust case is focused on Google's dominance there.
So what exactly does the DOJ want them to sell?
2 main pieces. Google AdX, which is their ad exchange. Think of it like a marketplace for bidding on ad space.
Okay.
And DFP, which is now part of Google Ad Manager, but it's the tool publishers use to manage and sell their ad space.
So basically, the tools for both sides of the transaction, the buy side and the sell side, essentially.
Pretty much. The DOJ argues this gives Google an unfair advantage, letting them kind of control the game. They want to level the playing field.
And Google's reaction, I assume they're not thrilled?
Not at all. They're planning to appeal the parts of the ruling that went against them. They're arguing divestiture isn't warranted or even feasible.
They're pointing out that the court didn't find issues with their tools for advertisers, right? Or their acquisitions like DoubleClick.
Correct. Their VP of Regulatory Affairs, Leanne Mulholland, said the DOJ's proposals go well beyond the court's findings and would actually harm publishers and advertisers.
So a major standoff. They also pushed back on giving the DOJ real-time bidding data, I heard, called it infeasible.
Yeah, that was another point of contention.
Right.
Seems like there's a lot to sort out.
When does this actually get debated in court, the remedies part?
The trial for that is scheduled to start September 22nd this year. So it's still a few months away, but it's coming.
Okay, again, let's bring it back to the listener. This sounds very industry-specific, ad tech, monopolies. Why should someone care? How does it affect you browsing the web?
Well, it's kind of behind the scenes, but the plumbing of online ads affects everything. If the market gets more competitive,
It could change the ads you actually see. Maybe fewer, maybe better targeted, maybe less annoying.
could be. Or it might impact how websites make money. If their ad revenue changes, maybe some sites struggle, maybe more move to subscriptions.
Right. It affects the whole ecosystem that supports the free content many of us rely on online. It's not just about Google's bottom line.
It influences the whole digital landscape. A more level playing field theoretically could lead to innovation, maybe better experiences for everyone. We'll have to see.
Definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, third story. This one takes us to Hollywood.
Yeah, and potential government policy, specifically tariffs on foreign films.
Tariffs. Okay. This came up after former President Trump suggested was it 100% tariff?
That was the number he threw out, yeah, on foreign films. The goal, he said, was to make Hollywood great again.
And he mentioned foreign incentives and subsidies hurting the U.S. industry, plus some comments about incompetence in L.A.
Right. Now, the current White House has weighed in, but maybe a bit more cautiously.
What did they say?
Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai said no final decisions have been made, but they are exploring all options. Still using that "make Hollywood great again" phrase, though.
So the idea is still on the table, just maybe not the 100% figure slapped on immediately.
Seems that way. And interestingly, Trump himself seemed to soften it a bit later, saying he'd ask studios if they even want the tariffs. Said he wants to help create jobs, not hurt the industry.
It's complicated, isn't it? Because there has been a decline in domestic production. The numbers mentioned were like down 40% between 2022 and 2024 here.
Yeah, compared to only a 20% drop globally.
Right.
So the U.S. share seems to be shrinking.
And they mentioned Rob Lowe filming in Ireland because of tax incentives.
That anecdote came up, yeah. Highlighting that cost is a huge driver. A Prod Pro survey also found lots of industry folks prefer filming abroad, Canada, the UK, for budget reasons.
So slapping tariffs on films made there, how does that actually help? Wouldn't it just make movies more expensive to bring in, or maybe encourage more production to leave to avoid U.S. costs entirely?
That's the big question. Does it protect domestic jobs, or does it backfire?
So for you watching movies or TV shows, what's the potential impact?
Well, variety mainly. If foreign films and co-productions get way more expensive because of tariffs,
You might see fewer of them, a bigger focus on purely domestic stuff.
potentially. Or maybe the cost just gets passed on somehow. Could change the mix of what gets made, what gets distributed.
And the economic ripples, too. Would it really boost Hollywood jobs or just shift things around, maybe make entertainment pricier? Lots of uncertainty.
Especially when studios apparently aren't expecting budget increases, added costs are tough to swallow.
Okay, so quite a range today.
Let's recap quickly. We touched on DoorDash buying SevenRooms, aiming to be a full-service tech partner for restaurants, which could mean, more integrated dining experiences for you.
Then the DOJ versus Google's ad tech, a fight over market power that could ripple through the websites you visit and how they operate.
And finally, this potential tariff on foreign films, raising questions about movie variety, cost, and the future of Hollywood production.
3 different areas: food tech, ad tech, entertainment policy, but all showing how these big moves can connect back to your everyday activities.
And that's what we try to do here on Connecting the Dots. Untangle these things a bit.
Absolutely.
And remember, if any of these shifts raise questions for your own business or projects, we are here to help here at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.